cost given the appropriate specifications, total area, construction type, material. You guys like group assignments? I don't mind group assignments. Well, only when the group is made up of people who I know will carry their weight. So back in my last year of university, our professor decided to make our final project in conjunction with a competition involving other schools. We had to work in groups to calculate how much a building would cost given the appropriate specifications, total area, construction type, material choices, etc. The group with the most accurate report wins. First place wins $2,000, second $1,000, and third $500. Our classroom population conveniently totaled to a number divisible by 4, and so we had to work in a group of that size. Inconveniently, my friendship population in the class was 6, and I was in the half that needed another member. And there was only one person available. Kyle. Now Kyle, he's a good guy. I'm sure out of school he can be fun to hang out with, but see, over the years, Kyle has developed a reputation among us as sort of the slacker that BS's his way through life. And we had no choice but to work with him, with a prediction that we'd have to carry a bit of his weight. Did that 8-ball just go in that corner pocket? Because I called it! Half of the time we scheduled a session to work as a group, and this group assignment, Kyle would either be late, really late, not even show up, or if he did show up, he was walking around talking to other groups. This was no easy competition either. The professors really didn't provide much info for us to work with other than, here's what you need to deliver, okay, good luck! My group wasn't even worried about the prize money, okay? With our handicap and the amount of work we needed to complete in 1 week, we just wanted to worry about the grading aspect of the assignment. The work was so complicated that groups even started working together with other groups because we were just that lost. You're probably thinking, well, maybe Kyle was like doing research on other groups and getting valuable information for you guys. No. Any information he came back with was either no help to us or something we already knew, and he wouldn't have wasted time on his adventures if he just stayed with the group long enough to know what we know. So after countless sleepless nights, we finished. We were curious as to how our report compared with other groups, and we noticed that we were a bit off from the range that other groups calculated. There was really no time to backtrack our work and see what we did differently, so we just accepted our fate and hoped for the best. It was time to submit our work, and we were asked to attend the ceremony in a few hours where they would announce the winners. So, let me just recap. Inter-school-wide competition that was also our final project. Stuck working with a slacker. 1 week of sleepless work. Exhausted by the end of the week due to said work. And we had no confidence that we would even make top 3, and the ceremony was like a 30-minute drive away, so once we submitted our work, we literally dropped to sleep on the very spot we suffered. Well, except Kyle. Didn't know or care where the hell he was. A few hours later, which felt like days of being unconscious, we were woken up by a thud on the table. Congratulations. Impossible. We won first freaking place. How the hell? I don't even know. I mean, we were pretty embarrassed knowing what it must have been like at the ceremony when we weren't even there to accept our big ass check. But then, we realized, wait, this means... Hey guys, I heard we won. I hate you. And he wasn't even humble about it either. He was stuffing that giant check into people's faces. People who knew what Kyle was like in the group environment. People who knew he did not deserve his share of that money. But whatever. It was over. He can keep the $167 that I should have gotten. That's like 27 shawarmas, man. You guys play League of Legends? I would compare this to a game of League of Legends. We went into Team Builder, but had to invite a random. After a long struggle, we actually win the game. And Kyle is that douchebag who went 0-16 and has the boss to type wrecked in the post-game lobby. Group assignments.
Good morning, seniors, and happy Thursday. I don't think I have any Kyles on my roster. I might have to double check that, but I don't feel bad in saying don't be a Kyle when it comes to those group projects, alright? So yesterday was one of the first real big collaborative group projects that we did, and for those of you that were active participants, thank you so much. Special thanks to those who are actual spokespeople for the groups. It takes a lot to do that, alright? So once again, groups, sometimes you just placed them in life and you got to figure out how to make the best of it. But overall, I thought that the final answers and the final product and flowcharts we're good. More so the discussions, so if you were part of a group that was doing lively discussion, that's really what it's all about, all right, and making sure that is as productive as possible. We'll do those things again. I really appreciate it as more of a classroom type of activity, which I really do miss being in the classroom with all my students, but we'll make the best of it because it's what we do. So, all right. As a reward for doing so well yesterday, and yep, the Cambridge people were impressed. Today, I'm going to show you as much as I can of Flag Wars and finish that up with only a brief little question at the end to answer as an exit slip, alright? So, we're going to go ahead and jump into that. Watch probably about, well, I'm not going to tell you how much of it. Just pay attention to it. We might stop and pause and check for comprehension, answer any questions. You have the discussion guide there. The question you'll see today comes straight from it. Alright, so without further ado, here's the rest of Flag Wars.
We already have permission to keep the sign up until all this is resolved. I have that in writing, that I could keep the sign up. And so I just took that down to show that the sign is not a permanent attachment, and I didn't see how it was any different than a flag, being that it's not permanent, just has hooks to come down. So that was going to be my argument.
It's your intention to put the sign
Yes,
back
sir.
up, and the city says that that's their understanding, they won't interfere with that, that's their agreement with you.
Good.
And it seems as though folks are going to honor these agreements. Now, you need 90 days?
And look at me and my mother, though, just look. You don't try to take somebody's history away from them because you want their house, because you saw something that you liked. But disregarding the fact there's already been a family there to have a family, no. Nobody should never have to go through this. I never thought in the world that my father passed I had to go through this. When I have the wills and it said distinctly states left to me, there's no way I should have to go through what the code enforcement did was ridiculous. I mean, trying to threaten me with letters. Letters don't threaten me.
Which Linda Mitchell?
The Linda Mitchell.
The one from Winter Avenue? They got her in jail? On what charge?
The affidavit alleges that she was threatening to kill people at the cafeteria on 16 at 373.
Put her in jail?
Yeah, she's in jail. So, Deb,
So what do you want me to do?
well, we're waiting on Deborah. I don't know if he wants to talk to you. I just wanted to, as soon as Deborah gets back, can we do that case?
Yes, just
Okay.
copy whatever I'm doing.
Okay.
We're still waiting on your public defender. because she's still gonna have to take care of your other case in front of the
The other
judge.
the cars.
The cars, right. And that'll be in front of the judge, and they'll do that one right after the other,
Right.
okay?
But then, see, I didn't plan on getting sick.
I understand.
That things just happened.
Explain that to the judge.
Well, the
He'll
doctor
know.
said, yeah. That's where my problems come from. The Jewish Center come behind my house and checked on the gays over there that bought them little properties. That's who started this stuff.
We have case 2000 CRB 15715. The allegation says that she was under the influence of alcohol and threatening to shoot people in the cafeteria 373 South High. Pursuant to statute, that is a basis to arrest.
What's going on, Miss Mitchell?
I told her,
Would you like to tell me?
it was a girl looked like me and a guy, black guy.
Where?
And the cafeteria was arguing.
At 373 South High?
They thought it was me.
Okay,
There was two people arguing, but I was with no, but they thought it was me.
all right. But they are making allegations that you had signs of alcohol intoxication.
I ordered food.
Have you been drinking alcohol recently? Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah, recently, not yes, not
When had you last consumed alcoholic beverages? Yesterday?
Yeah, maybe yesterday, not
What-
today.
How much did you have yesterday? Quite a bit? Do you drink alcohol every day? All right. Your sentence is $30 plus costs suspended for the time she spent in jail. Now, that takes care of this case. Where are we on these three cases?
I have spoken to Ms. Mitchell late last week. She came into the office, wanted me to be aware that she had been in the hospital.
Are the cars still there? The two cars are there.
And I wanted to drive by this morning, which I did at 7 o'clock this morning, and they are still
Is
there.
the camper, is the RV still there?
They are still there.
Is the motorcycle still there?
Still there.
I'm gonna move.
Now, let me ask you, say, I'm gonna move them. What are you going to move?
The two cars.
The two cars.
The camper needs a flywheel on it. Not
Needs
an
a
engine.
flywheel.
You know where the
That-
starter goes in and connects?
Part of the drivetrain.
Yeah.
How do you know it needs a flywheel?
Because my father was a General Motors and he got me work on cars when I was 12.
So you work on cars. So you think you're an accomplished mechanic. How do you know it needs a flywheel? You examined
Because
it?
my dad showed me.
How long has it been since you've known it needs a flywheel?
That's in the years you saw 1992.
Since 1992, it's needed a
Because when I
flywheel.
drive up there and I turned it off, it wouldn't, it's got
So
stuck.
for 8 years, it's been sitting there without a flywheel.
I got a new one.
But for 8 years, it's sat there in need of a flywheel. All right. All right. I don't know what to do here, folks. We're continuing to struggle with this problem. I'm aware that Miss Mitchell has health concerns.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. Are you getting the cooperation you need, Mr. Black, from Miss Mitchell in this project?
Yes.
All right. How come you were down in the cafeteria at 7:40 this morning?
To get all this together for you.
Thank you. All right. We're gonna give this a new date, and I don't know where we're gonna get to. It seems like we're not getting anywhere in terms of solving the problem, which is fixing the property.
I was just curious.
Certainly.
Yeah, I was just curious as to what this house would go for now. You know, I really don't have any really good reason why I would have to want to sell
Right,
even.
no.
But if something happened, if I had a health emergency or,
Right.
you know, if destiny, you know, calls me someplace else.
Right on the other
and
side of the
I'm-
world, you know, what's it worth?
Yeah, you know, I'm just curious, you know. Plus,
Well,
it's been
yeah.
an investment for me too.
No,
and I'd like
absolutely,
to-
it should be. There's no point in doing it if it doesn't. At some point, it's not going to be like a savings account. You should comfortably be in the, you know, in the high 100s without any problems at all. If you start to move into finishing the third floor and the rest of the stuff, then I think you'll start to get into the twos pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I thought, you
No,
know,
you've done
I
that
thought
nice job.
eventually,
I mean,
I thought
with-
eventually, you know,
Yeah.
it would, but not this soon.
What's up?
Hi, good evening, Mr. Goody. This is Rory DeVore. I was here last year with the petitions to vote the area, the carry-out straw in the area.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we fell 2 signatures short of getting it on the November ballot last year. So we're back around this year, going back to people who potentially would sign it last year and see if they'd be interested in signing up again this year to put it back on the November ballot. If you go to most of these carry-outs, do you feel that they have more groceries than they have alcohol?
I don't care what they have. I don't go there. I don't spend the money there. So if the other patrons want to patronize it, I don't want to jeopardize their opportunity to walk around there and patronize. These people over here, these kids, they do shop there, and they go there, and that's their money. But I'm going to do pro-business on this, and that's most unusual. I'm not always pro-business.
Okay.
But in this instance, that's the only thing that survives this neighborhood except for cleaners up here, and it's been there for 60 years. That's the only thing that survives in this community. That's tragic.
Yeah,
That's tragic. I hate to spend my money always town and country or the malls or somewhere else, and we shop right here. So maybe we can bring some of that business back. Good restaurants, we can dine there, you know, Delva's up the street, and you can get porterhouse steaks as thick as you want and everything, see? So until we get that back, I don't care about the small business. If he can survive, now they're not African Americans anymore, they're more Arabs or Asians or something. So they got a right to live in this country too, so let them get it the way they want to.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
It's not my business. I don't patronize.
Well, the initial complaint was brought because of the sign.
The sign, right. And what caused...
That sign over the door was the initial complaint. Right.
And in order for him to get a clearance for the sign, the use of the property had to be determined because that determines the size of the type of sign he can have.
All right.
So when they came out to see what the use was, the zoning officials felt that the use was a private museum.
So if in fact it were found to be a private museum,
You have to have zoning clearance to have a private museum in a residential structure.
is that private?
It's private.
All right.
But if you insist.
No, I don't. No.
That's my bedroom.
That's all right.
The plaintiff's been brought by that guy in the White House there. His fence is out of compliance. It's too tall. He's been painting his house for 4 years, and he flies German flags every weekend. And I gotta look at his German flags, and he can't look at my sign. And that's the bottom line.
Okay, I have taken the view.
Thank you. Chief Baba Luke Bala Shango Obadina, O-B-A-D-I-N-A.
At the time that sign was put above your door, do you know whether or not you were living in a historic district since '79?
No, in 1967, my neighborhood, when I lived there, was declared as the ghetto. I heard on the radio.
In 1979, what did the sign say?
Shango.
Just Shango?
Are you talking about of words or the total sign?
Exactly what was on the sign in 1979?
There was a picture of the Yoruba god Shango blowing thunder and lightning out of his mouth and the word Shango.
So then that is not the sign that you were cited for as being in violation, correct?
It's a replacement of the sign that was knocked down by a storm, which is the same dimensions, the same size, and the same wordage with the addition of chief and Yobobogal Vidiwojise.
At what point does a person's private collection of art turn his or her private residence into a museum? I don't see by a clear and convincing standard that this is a private museum needing a certificate of zoning clearance to maintain itself. As to the sign, based upon the evidence, it would appear to me that what was put up represented no real change in material, design, arrangement, texture, or color. And it remained, as an architectural feature, if you will, consistent with what was there. Therefore, their plaintiff's request for its remedy is denied. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
there are many remedies that are available to civil action which aren't
Right.
available to criminal action.
Criminal. I found out about criminal.
And so one example of that in this case is that because we've found nonprofit groups, volunteers, and others that are interested in doing some of addressing some of the code violations, and we've been able to communicate that back to court, which gives us more time
Yeah.
for compliance.
Glad to be a part of trying to put this back together here.
Yes, it looks great.
This is what
They're doing the outside as far as the gutter works and the box works. That's
I'm
just
going to
great.
take them back upstairs because they
Okay.
can do some patchwork on what we were talking about.
Excellent. So this is good. Looking good. Looking good. Right on the corner.
Yep. I was me when he bought this house. I was mad at him. I said, "What you buy this house for?" I said, "I want that stone one over there." She said, "No, we bought you this one." I said, "Oh, righty."
Beautiful house.
Thank you. Now I'm growing up now and appreciate it.
Yes.
When I was little, I was mad. He's good. Yeah, go inside. That is a big, it's too big. Yeah, look at that.
Thank you very much.
We have come for a moral service for our sister, our friend, relative, Sister Linda Regina Mitchell. On me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. I heard the voice of Jesus.
Wow, Pretty powerful movie, I thought. A lot of different things going on there. And so let's go ahead and jump into our live Google Meet, answer this final question, and get ready for Friday.